Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from Outkick dated November 15th. And it says SNL's elections ratings crater as 89% of jokes targeted Donald Trump. And I know it's probably been reported already, but I'm on vacation this week, so this one's going to take a little bit of it'll appear when it appears during this week. So it's not like urgent news or anything. So let's go into it. And I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in decades. I never watched it regularly. I kind of watched a bit of it during the most classic eras that there were, except for the very beginning era. So I'm talking the Mike Myers, Adam Sandler, Chris Rock, Dana Carvey era, and then the Will Ferrell era after that. So let's see what this says about their ratings, because I know they're not in a great shape there. So the viewership for Saturday Night Live cratered during the 2024 election cycle. In the weeks leading up to the election, the show averaged just 5.4 million viewers, down 25% from the 2020 election cycle and nearly a third from 2016. This past Saturday, so from the time you're listening to this, is a few Saturdays ago, and I think it was actually the Saturday before the election took place, that the first post-election installment of so it'd be the one after it. I'm sorry, I should have just read another part of the sentence. So, to the first post-election installment of the program, SNL drew only 4.4 million viewers, and in 2016, the post-election show averaged 9.2 million viewers. So they lost over half their audience from post-election shows from both the ones right after Trump won both times. That's pretty insane. It says, what's the blame for the decline? Cheesy humor, cable cutting, social media, the lack of big-name performers. Yes, and the show's shameless left-wing bias fracturing its relationship with half of the country. Yeah, I think that's probably a big reason why I was turned off, is just they're not doing comedy for comedy's sake. They're doing comedy just only towards one side. So this last week, a Media Research Center study found that 89% of election jokes on SNL in the fall targeted Donald Trump. 89%. On October 12th, the quantity of Trump jokes started to pick up as he was joked about 8 times to Harris's 1. Vance was targeted twice while Walz escaped ridicule. On the 19th, Trump jokes outnumbered Harris jokes 9-0, while both VP contenders escaped Jost and Che's jesting, the study pointed out. Those are the guys who do the weekend update, I know that. Was it Colin, is it Yost or Jost? I'm probably getting it wrong. And Michael Shea are those guys. It says after a week off, the final pre-election episode on November 2nd featured 9 Trump jokes and only 1 Harris joke. Those numbers do not represent satirical sketch comedy. They represent a propaganda arm of the Democratic Party on the same level as late-night television. Granted, an early MRC study found that 98% of the daily late-night comedy shows jokes targeted Trump. 98%. Says further, the FCC commissioner accused SNL in November of violating the FCC's equal time rule by inviting Harris on the show but not Trump. Says this is a clear and blatant effort to evade the FCC's equal time rule, said Brennan Carr. The purpose of the rule is to avoid exactly this type of biased and partisan conduct, a licensed broadcaster using the public airwaves to exert its influence for one candidate on the eve of an election, unless the broadcaster offered equal time to other qualifying campaigns. It says now, SNL should make fun of Trump and the Republicans. Of course, no one's saying they shouldn't. It says we don't deny that. It's the fear of also mocking the Democratic Party that warrants criticism. Right. It's make fun of both sides. Both sides, no one cares. Do what South Park does. Yeah, they see something ridiculous, they make fun of it. Simple as that. As Kamala Harris provided SNL the fodder. She repeatedly answered questions with, I grew up in the middle class, dodged the media until she couldn't, refused to name specific policies, cackled like a hyena, and subverted the democratic process via installment atop the ticket. Yet SNL ignored all of it. Our running mate, Tim Walz, is a real-life SNL character. He put tampons in the boys' bathroom, deserted his soldiers, let cities in Minnesota burn in the name of George Floyd, and lied about his football coaching career. And he's also a living, wacky, inflatable tube man, or whatever that skit is from Family Guy. It says SNL mentioned none of that either. Under the NBC umbrella, SNL is not going to change. Thus, there's a market demand for an alternative, a sketch comedy show that is not scared of making fun of the Democratic Party, a show that does not fear cancel culture or whiny left-wing bloggers. Says Fox News has found great success in countering late-night television with Gutfeld. Some network or streaming service ought to take the same approach in creating a counter to SNL, and the opportunity is there, so long as the show is funny and unafraid. And I think that's one of the, besides the being afraid to make fun of the Democratic Party, one of the other main criticisms of SNL I've heard for years is the fact that it just isn't funny. And sure, they're going to have the occasional funny thing happen, but overall, it's not as consistently funny as during the height of its powers. And I think a lot of people saying it hasn't been funny in a very, very long time. One other thing I did want to add in here that I'm surprised the author did not put in is about the FCC's equal time rule, is that they actually, NBC that is, had to offer Trump time, and he actually had an ad that aired, I think it was during the Sunday night football game. So they were able to give him time after that. I'm surprised the article didn't say that, but NBC basically realized, yeah, we screwed up, and if we don't fix that, there's going to be a problem, and they gave Trump the time during the football game. So I just wanted to mention that too. Anyway, do you watch SNL still? Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.